fans, do you want to win your share of $100,000? Simply enter the houseofboxing.com Fight Night Prediction Challenge. Compete with boxing fans around the world. Simply head over to houseofboxing.com and...
Let's go. Lenihan Boxing Social, associated with William Hill Empire Fight, so I'm joined by Tony Bellew. Tony, my question to you.
You've got a lot of betting agencies on your ass, haven't you?
Yeah, a few, mate.
Go on, what do you want to know?
I was going to ask, Eddie Hearn says he's confident of getting Chris Eubank Jr, Conor Benn this year. He still wants to do it on the 23rd. Do you think if Tyson Fury, Oleksandr Usyk gets made on that day, that he will still go up against it, or do you think he'll change for next year?
I don't think it's viable to have a fight of that magnitude on the same night as the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, in my opinion. But listen, Eddie knows far more than me when it comes to that side of the business. Roll the dice. I mean, listen.
You'll roll it?
Personally, I'm not the one getting punched in the face, so absolutely I'd roll it. But if I was getting punched in the face, yeah, I'd want to do it. But if I'm not getting punched in the face and I'm a businessman, absolutely not, no. I hope that answers your question.
Talk about rolling the dice and getting punched in the face. Now, I saw that you were toying with the idea of making a comeback. We spoke a little bit there off camera, and you said, I said to you, would it be the money or would it be the legacy of being a two-weight world champion against Lukas Rudansky, the Polish man who's the Bridgeweight WBC world champion? What would entice you back to the game at 40 years old?
It's always the glory. It's not, I mean, listen, financially I'm all right. I mean, well, if I'm being totally honest, I'm skint. My wife's done all right, though. She's got a few quid. I have to ask her for a borrow. It's always the glory, you know. But don't get me wrong, I don't do it for free.
Can it happen? Will it happen? Do you think? And give me like a ballpark percentage of the possibility of this happening.
The possibility of it is I just don't think Lukas Rudansky fancies it. And if he did, then he'd want to make it happen. But I think he's got better options, if I'm being totally honest, financially better options, which well, to be not lying, he has got financially better options. He's got something on the table that's huge. But if he was to face me, even at 40, mate, it'd be curtains for him within about anywhere between 6 and 8. And it'd only take me 6 or 8 because I'm 40. It'd be 2 rounds if I was in anywhere below 36. So, yeah. Sam?
Tony, we saw Tommy Fury.
Just skipped him, lad. He's next.
No.
What's he going? Sorry, champ.
You're right. Tommy Fury, KSI at the weekend. First of all, what did you make of the fight? And second of all, how do you think Tommy gets on if he returns to proper boxing?
Do you know what, mate? I don't knock them. Do you know why I don't knock them? Because why? First of all, I've always said this, and I'll still stand by it. It's only dangerous if someone can get hurt, but these lads, with all due respect, are not going to really hurt each other because they're not proper. I don't want to say proper, I don't want to be disrespectful to them. First of all, I give them a right, you know, good on them. They're earning a right few quid. They're not, there's no real danger to them because they're not the biggest of punchers, they're not the best boxers, but they're having a go. Now, secondly, what I will say, and this is massively important, do you know how many kids these are attracting to boxing gyms? It's a whole different demographic here that we're talking about. It's a whole different set of fans and people that want to walk into boxing gyms. You've got kids now, geeks on computers. Now, I was a bit of a computer PlayStation geek in the day. Imagine seeing the best person ever play FIFA go to a boxing gym and do some boxing. How many kids would that entice to follow him into a boxing gym? So I give them so much credit from that kind of thing. They're having a go. KSI isn't a boxer. I think he got famous for playing FIFA. I'm not 100% sure, but I've spoke to him, and JJ is a lovely kid, and he's someone who I don't knock. Because one thing I worked out when I was sitting down and chatting to him was the kid works hard. Like, all the boy does is work. He's a seriously hard worker. So I don't knock them at all. I've seen rage and outrage about people slagging them and slating them. It's funny how we don't have outrage when loads of celebrities want to come together and play a game of football, or loads of celebrities don't want to come together and do other various sports. Why are we absolutely raging and furious when a gang of celebrities or a gang of YouTubers or whatever they are want to come together and have a boxing match? Okay, yes, again, people are getting hurt. And then another thing that annoys me is when you see these journalists coming out, or boxers even people from my peers are coming out and saying it's a disgrace. Why is it a disgrace? They're not taking money off your table. They're not taking money away from boxing. They're bringing a certain thing to boxing that has not been there before. These kids are coming in and generating millions and millions of pounds. If they don't come, it's not there anyway. It's not like they're going, right, there's a British title fight here on Friday. We're taking that Friday fight off you and putting on a YouTube fight. No, that's just not happening at all. it's crazy and insane, people's rage towards them. I just don't get it at all. Fair play to them.
The antics, Tony, the weigh-in antics, the press conference antics.
I don't agree with that, but I'm not going to lie. I just seen today for the first time, because I'm not really active on social media that much. I haven't got the time, and I can't be arsed with fellas putting it on my toes and then never turning up. So I've just come away from it. What's the point? I get threatened every single day with I'll punch your fucking head in, or I'll do this and I'll do that. Sound, but if you there's a boxing ring there, maybe we can happily do it. But
I'd say that.
I'm just sick of it. So I haven't got as much time on social media as I'd like. But the antics today, what the point I was getting to, I seen John Fury knocking fuck out of a plastic screen today. Now, listen, I've got all the respect in the world for the Furies and for Tyson and for John, and especially for Peter, but someone said to me he spat at him, but I'm told he threw a bottle at him. So the antics are just stupid and they're pathetic. You don't need them. And if anything, them boys don't need to do it to sell, because guess what? They're selling it like fuck anyway. Do you know what I mean? So, listen, I don't like the antics, but I'm a fine one to talk, because I've done some of the most stupidest things and I've said some silly shit in my time. I ain't the kind of person who's going to throw stones in glass houses. So let them crack on. All I'm saying is, I don't get the outrage towards them all. I don't see the big deal. These lads they've found a gap in the market, and guess what? They're using it to the best of their disposal, and fair play to them. I don't knock them at all.
Tony, you said KSI is not a real boxer. Is Tommy Fury a real boxer, do you think?
Of course he is, and KSI is a real boxer, because he's fought one now. He's fought a professional fucking boxer, so he is a boxer. One thing I'll say about JJ is I admire his work ethic and his work rate. I think he's a really good athlete who's trying to learn to box, but he's learning on the job. Now, I've heard Tommy Fury's meant to have been a boxer since he was 6, or he's been boxing since he was 6. I mean, I'm not sure who's taught him, but he should be far ahead of where he is right now. One thing I do understand, and one thing I do get, there's a huge amount of pressure on this young lad's shoulders, and I mean enormous amount of pressure, because when you've got your alpha fella saying if he loses to one of these, I'm going to disown him, and that's not his name no more, lad, that's just fucking nuts. Kid must be suffering mentally so fucking much when your alpha fella saying stupid things like that. But it is what it is. They're all each to their own. I wish them luck. Good on them. Do you know how hard it is to earn a few quid? It's very hard. Believe you me, I know. I've come from absolutely fuck all. And it's hard, mate, to earn money these days, and it's hard to secure your family's future and your future finance. It's very, very hard. So anyone out there doing it, I'll give you a fucking pat on the back. Good on you.
Tony, just take it back to traditional boxing for a moment. I spoke to Thomas Hauser a few weeks back regarding his comments regarding Anti-Joshua's future. He doubled down on saying in lieu of the fights available to AJ Fury and Wilder, that he still wants to see AJ retire. You've always been a defender of AJ in his future.
Down on it.
Essentially, yeah, I said basically like you still want to see him retire. In light of what punishment might be in line for him, should he take those fights, do you feel there's any sentiment to his argument that holds water?
I mean, who cares really? I mean, if you're saying a man who's probably one of the biggest names in world boxing should retire, because what? Because he's lost a couple of points decisions to the best fighter in the world, pound for pound, right now. Well, second best after Terence Crawford. Insane comments, and you're saying that why would he walk away? You've got to understand, he goes into a fight with Deontay Wilder, it's a straight shootout. I'm not denying that, and it's a dangerous fight. But listen, mate, if he fucking lands first, which he's got every chance of doing, believe you me, he'll win. But at the same time, there's another side to that coin. If he doesn't land first, he's going as well. Why would a man going into a big fight like that want to throw the towel in? And then I haven't even mentioned money, for fuck's sake. This kid's on a different stratosphere to everyone bar Canelo when it comes to money. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what Thomas Hauser gets out of it. I don't know who he's aligned with, because usually you find these journalists that are aligned to certain promoters. He's obviously not aligned to Matchroom or Eddie. You'll probably find I don't know, but I'm guessing and surmising he's aligned to someone else or some other kind of promoter. But it is what it is, leave him to it. I mean, Thomas Hauser's a brilliant, respected boxing writer, so, you know, I'd like to say what do I know, but I know fucking far more than him, trust me, when it comes to boxing. And believe you me, I've got the blood, sweat and tears to prove it as well. I'm not just someone who sits at paper and writes about what's going on. I've felt it, I've done it, I've been there, I've got the t-shirt. Does that suggest that I'm allowed more of a comment than him? Maybe not, but what I am allowed to do is weigh it up better and judge it far better. Does he know the boxing, the specifics and the mechanics behind the business deal that the likes of Anthony Joshua are involved in? Absolutely not, no. Does he know Anthony Joshua's motivation? Absolutely not, no. Does he know the financial gains and the legendary gains that are possible and on the table for Anthony Joshua? No, he obviously doesn't, and he's not took them into contact. Why would Anthony Joshua... You've got to understand, it's obvious the boy wants to fight. He's not fighting for money, because with what he's earned and what he's earned in the last 2 fights, it's not even touching the sides. He's fighting because he's a fighter deep down, and you don't just become an Olympic gold medalist for nothing. You don't become a World Championship silver medalist for nothing. You don't become a 2-time unified heavyweight champion for nothing, without desire, without graft. I've watched that kid in the gym, coming back from setbacks with the likes of Derek James. I've watched him, I've seen him train, I've stood alongside him. Far, far, far from washed up, far, far, far from the things that Thomas Hauser is reporting, which I just think it's wrong, really. I think it's bang out of line, but he's never going to apologise. He's probably a stubborn old man and thinks he knows best. And believe you me, if he loses to Deontay Wilder, which he has every possibility of doing, then I'm sure Thomas Hauser will be the first one singing his own praises, saying, I told you. But I'd love to hear from Thomas fucking Hauser if he knocks out Deontay Wilder, because believe you me, mate, he has a 50-50 chance of doing that, so we'll see.